Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I want to share with you a fast and easy cinched 6x6 mini album. This video is about 30 minutes long, but once you have all of your pages prepped, you will see how fast and easy the process is. If you do not have a cinched machine, you can definitely use book rings or some other form of binding your 6x6 mini album. This is the mini album that I previously shared with you in a sneak peek. Today we're going to create something a little bit different, but still 6x6. And it's very fast and very easy to create, so I hope you enjoy this video. For this mini album, you're going to need a chopping mat, the plastic ones, because you'll create that as a cover. And you're going to need 2 6x6 chipboard paper, cardboard paper, and 11 double wire, the plastic sheets cut to 6x6, some tags. At this point, you can add whatever you want in your mini album, whatever you have on hand. This is created in a junk journal style, so anything that's random that is 6x6 or smaller can fit into this journal. I have some CD sleeves, some stickers. Actually, they're wall decals from the Dollar Tree. I cut off the flaps because it's actually longer than 6x6. 4 sheets of 6x6 paper and a embroidery file. Okay, so let's put everything aside. Oh, you'll need some scissors and some glue of your choice. If you like double-sided tape, then use that. Or if you like the ATG gun, then use that. So here's a sample of the 6x6 pocket pages that we're going to create. And I've cinched them on the left-hand side. If you have the cinch machine, follow the instructions posted on the machine. So just keep that in mind. And then if you have book rings, then all you have to do is punch 2 holes on the side. So here I'm putting everything aside so that I have a clear working space. All right, so first we're going to do is take, keep in mind you need to be mindful of the direction of your paper. We're going to take a 12 by 12, and what I like about this project is that we're not going to have any waste. Here you're going to score it 6 inches, then you're going to flip the paper 90 degrees, and you're going to score at 3 and 9. Okay. At the 6-inch mark, you're going to cut up to the 6-inch, the 3-inch, and then on the other side, you're going to cut from that score line, which is 3 inches. All right. And now you're going to fold in all of the cuts you just made, I guess. You'll see. And a lot of times with my tutorials, just watch what I'm doing versus trying to listen to what I actually say, because sometimes they don't coincide with each other. I feel like I know what I'm doing, I know what I have in my head, but it doesn't actually come out in words. So be mindful of that when you watch any of my tutorials, or you can just fast forward it to see what the end result's going to be. So here you're going to fold in up to the 3-inch marks on either side, and this creates a 6x6 pocket page. And then you just fold it inwards, as you can see, and make sure that all of your fold lines are creased. You can use your bone folder or your nail, whatever you have available. And there you have on the right hand side what you will end up with. Okay, so the next style is also a 6x6, but it requires no cutting at all. So you save yourself any hangover. I like to do it on the white side of the pattern paper, and you score at 6. And then you flip it over to about a 90 degree. Be mindful of your directions. And then 3-inch mark, and at the 9-inch mark, you're going to make a crease. As you can see, and here I am using the bone folder that comes with the punch, with the whatever that machine is called. Doesn't come to mind right now. And here I'm just making sure that all of my fold lines are creased so that the book lays, so that the pages lay flat. Okay, so once I seal the middle part, you'll see that it creates pockets. Right now I'm just holding it with my hands, but it does create 2 pockets, and then you will cinch it on the left hand side, which is where my binding is. Okay, so that's what it'll look like, and you cinch it on your left side. And it has 11 holes, so you'll have to take out your 12th peg. Okay, so now I'm going to cover up my 6x6 chipboards on both sides, and I just use regular glue. Nothing fancy, but I don't lay it on heavy. It's just you'll see, it's just a bunch of squiggly lines, not too heavy on the glue. And then I just cover the chipboard up with my pattern paper. And I just like using just regular glue, tacky glue. Sometimes I use my Extreme Elmer's glue, and I don't like using the ATG because to me it's not economical. But you use what is your preference. And I like to make sure that I have my edges covered with glue, that way the paper doesn't come off. And then to secure that, you'll see in a few minutes where I use the emery board. And the emery board helps for the paper to stay and not come off the edges. And you smooth it out with your hand, because your hand does create the heat from your hand helps to spread the glue. And if you add too much glue, then it oozes out. Okay, so here I am again, scribbling that glue on the chipboard. And this project is real time, all except for the pages that I cut down to 6x6. And as you will see, 30 minutes is really is a long time than what this project requires. I think you'll be able to create it in 15 to 20 minutes. And it goes by really quick. And my preference is, I think I stick to the creating journals of any sort, whether it's cinched or junk journal or pamphlet stitch, book rings. I just like to see all the pages together in a book form. So a lot of my projects have that in mind. And then you smooth it out. And any hangover, you just take your scissors and cut that out. So anything that you see that's white, just snip it out. I think my scrapbook paper was a little bit over 6 by 6, which is why I'm having to make adjustments at this point. But it's really no big deal. With the emery board, it'll clean out any rough edges. And then if you'd like, you can also color the core of your chipboard before you put on your 6 by 6 paper. So for example, if you want your chipboard edges not to be exposed, then color that before you add your 6 by 6. And here I am with the emery board, as I mentioned, roughing out those edges, and this will keep the paper from lifting. Kind of creates a really good seal. And you do that on both sides. I'm not going to do it to save some time, but yes, you do it on all sides. So just to show you an example, you just keep going until you feel that your edges are smooth enough and any excess paper comes off. You will see shavings, so you just, brush that off and just keep on moving. Okay, so there I am, complete with the 2 covers. And next you will start to put your pages together in the order you'd like to see them. There are a couple that I still need to punch or cinch. Yeah, I need to punch the 2 last pages that I created. And I was going to do just 3 pages. I work in odd numbers. 3 are the main focal pages, but I ended up with 5 main 6 by 6 pages, and then anything smaller I tucked inside. So here I am just working out the order that I'd like to see my book completed. And I don't have any rhyme or reason, just whatever feels right to me. And here I'm flipping through in the order that I like to see and tucking any smaller pages in between the main 6 by 6 pages. Then make any small adjustments to your paper. Clean them up, as you can see, and if you like distressing, you can do that as well. But I think I agree with everyone who has done craft fair projects and selling to the masses who don't understand the concept of a junk journal or a scrapbook. I like to keep it very simple, not add a lot of frills, because for the most part they're not really going to understand. So I keep it very simple and easy to process. So I don't do the stressing, because it adds more work to a book that you want to see the purchaser or the person that you're giving it to add their own style. So if you add too much of the frilly stuff, they might just put it to the side and not use it. So it's just a preference. To me, I want to see a quick project, so I don't add too much stuff. I might add a punched tag here or there, but for the most part, I keep it simple. So here I want to make a 3-pocket page. So I just, as you can see, I will glue the binding part on the top, on the side and on the bottom. And where you see I'm gluing now, it doesn't actually meet up, so I end up taping that. And I'll change the tape that I used later. It's just washi tape, so nothing goes to waste. And if it does, it's just washi tape. And then that way I can make the book somewhat uniform to the theme that I'm working on, which is a recipe book. I'm really enjoying this farmhouse style. So the distressed wood, the roosters, the piggies, that sort of thing. And we're in that season of almost fall. So I'm really enjoying making these cinched 6x6 mini albums. You can make them any size you want. I just decided a 6x6 because I wanted to maximize all my paper and not have any scraps. And here I am tucking the top to make sure all sides that need to be glued are glued. And then finishing up the order in which I want my book to look in the end. And next is the cinching. Now this wall decal, I'm going to stick it on the front, and definitely if it doesn't go, then it's much easier to pull out and add something different. But I'm really liking the way it looks. I think I'm going to keep it, and then I'm going to add the other wall decal to the pack. And make sure that I have enough room for the binding and it doesn't go through, or that my printed image isn't going to get cinched when I get ready to bind it. Alright, so everything is nice and even and flush. Nothing is sticking out. If it does, no big deal, like that tag up at the top. Okay. And next I am going to work with my cinch machine. Everything is already set. The 12th peg is pulled out so that I only get 11 holes. And anything that isn't punched or cinched, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I have enough space at the top and at the bottom so that my 11 punches are nicely centered. And as I mentioned, use the instructions on your cinch machine. The smaller paper, I'm not really worried about it being centered because it'll all work out once you start putting the book together. So some of the edges do come off a little, but in the end it all works out. And if it doesn't, just cut it off and start over again. I am not really one to plan out the entire process. So a lot of times you will see me just doing it and figuring it out as I go. That's just my style. And here, as you will see, it looks like it's off-centered. But when you see the book put together, it really isn't a big deal. And once you have it cinched and you don't like where it is, just take it off. You know, add something different. I really like the cinched machine. It really gives it a professional look. And it's a really good investment for any project of this type. The CD sleeves are about 5 by 5, I think, so or 5 by 6. So that's why I cut off the flap. I'm sorry. And this is close to the last page. Pocket page. 3 pocket pages. And I think 5 sheets and then 5 main 6 by 6 sheets is enough. You don't want to create a book that's too large because you want the recipient to add their own style to the book. So that's why I was going to start with 3. I like working with odd numbers. But you add as many pages as you feel is right for your book. But as I mentioned, I don't want to make it too bulky because sometimes it becomes overwhelming for the recipient. And sometimes these 6 by 6 just become display items, so they might not even be used for its intended purpose. But a lot of people like things that are homemade in their homes, so it's nice to create, and it's nice that other people appreciate homemade projects. And here I'm using a wire with 11 prongs so that it fits into my 6 by 6 mini album. And here I'm putting everything together. So I'm almost done. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate your comments. Please keep them positive because I am sharing something that maybe have been around for a while, but perhaps you're new to scrapbooking and paper crafting, and this tutorial gives you an opportunity to see how others work. Okay, so at this point I'm putting all of the pages together and lining them up with the prongs. I use a double wire. I don't remember the pitch, but if you have any questions about the materials that I'm using, just leave them down in the description box or in the comment section, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And this is the one where I use the full sheet of paper without folding any of the corners. So I'm just lining it up, adding a tack on the inside, and then adding that to the journal. And on the book covers, as the instructions go for the cinch, you're going to put them face to face so that when you spin it around, it'll end up in the, it might look wrong, but it does end up right in the right order in the end. And then I take it and I cinch it. This machine is just wonderful, all in one. I can't say enough about it. It is a great investment. I needed this in my life. All right, clean out my workspace, and now I'm ready to share with you a flip through of the completed 6x6 mini album. So anything left to do can be done at a later time. The most important part is that the book is put together. I can use tape or a piece of the scrapbook paper to embellish it. Add recipe cards that are 4x6. There's the tag flip and a pocket. Index cards, just not too fancy. No fancy embellishments, just something simple so that you can continue to make more books and embellish later. Because to me, embellishing something that's already put together is much easier. And I don't know, you can work with anything else that you have, but sometimes for me, the main structure, once it's created, it's easier to decorate later. And there's the back cover and the plastic sheet. So that's that. Thank you all for watching, and until the next video. Bye-bye.